All right, this is my 1955 Packard 400. I'm going to go over this car for you. First of all, I'm going to tell you, we believe this car to have 60, well, it reads 60,000 and some odd miles. We believe that to be correct. I purchased this car about 3 years ago or so, and the paperwork I got with it, the previous owner had only driven this thing about under 10,000 miles in 29 years. And I've got receipts before that lends it to appear that this is the original mileage on this car. So I'm going to go over the paint and body first, and then I'll go to mechanical and such. So body wise, it is a very solid car. I replaced a patch panel right in this fender right here, had a little rust spot in there. And it's got a little dinky spot right there on that door. This is just starting to appear, or it has appeared. And the rest of that rocker looks good. We're on this side. And again, rockers are really nice. You know, the portions there, the wheel wells are good. Got a little blister starting to come down in here, a couple blisters right in there. Hopefully you can see those. But that looks pretty good. There's a couple little dents up high. There's one right there on that fender. You can't really see it. And there's a dent in the front of this driver's fender here, and I think there's a little one somewhere at the top of the fender. This white portion has been repainted on this car at one time. They did a lousy job, and so it's very dull. I think the reds, other than what I painted right there, I think the red's are original. It's got some splotching up here, and you can actually see the graining in the paint. Original lacquer they used on these. Okay, trim-wise, there's some blistering, minor blistering in spots on it. This is just a driver car. It could be restored. As far as the body goes, underneath the floor pan is excellent. Undercoated floor pan in excellent shape. No rust problems there. Okay, back to the chrome and trim. A little blistering on some of the pot metal parts, the cast parts. Put right there. The stainless is in all pretty good shape. I got some little dents and digs in it. I think there's one here, and there's one on the other side, the same exact spot. And rear bumper, all this stuff is driver quality. Got a couple of spots there where, you know, I put a little silver paint on those. And this side looks good as well. Okay, glass, cracking that glass right there, and a little blistering in the seams of them, just normal stuff. And the other side's got a little crack or a little break right down the lower part of that window. Right in here. Okay, I think that's about it for the exterior. It does have new tires on it. They've only got about 1,000 miles on those tires. I got them last year, I believe, or year before. Anyway, even got a brand new spare in the trunk. Interior wise, power windows, power seat. Wunderbar radio. Wunderbar radio is not working because they reversed the polarity. It originally came positive ground, and they've reversed the polarity. So I think the radio is unhooked because it won't work unless they do something with that. Okay, and the seat and power windows work fine. We're on a seat right there. You can see the driver's area there, and the rest of that seat looks, you know, it's good, presentable stuff. You know, got the cracks and some beading cracks there, and back seat is in good shape, pretty good shape. Little discoloration up on the top of it here. I never did even try and clean that off. Headliner is original. It's got a little, that's the only spot I can see in the headliner. It's got a little split over there, but the headliner looks really good. Original visors. Horn ring is broken here. I think I've got another horn ring. If I do, I'll throw that in. These dashes are gorgeous in these cars. This has got the original padded dash. It does have some waves and dips in it. The under foam is probably a little bit wasted, but the cover itself is in great shape. You know, there's no cracks or breaks in it. See, what else can we show you inside this thing? Okay, I think that's a wrap on the inside. So we'll go to mechanics on it. So I put this thing away for the winter, and it's got a little brake problem right now. The brakes work, but they're sort of hanging up when you slow down, when you apply the brakes before you take off again. They're hanging up, and so I had to loosen the brakes up because they were actually sort of grabbing at low speed. I loosened them up, and they're still seem to be grabbing. I think it's the hydrovac is a problem. Something in there is creating a problem anyway. So when you drive it, it has a tendency to, you got to be real careful if you have to apply the brakes real suddenly, because it does have a tendency to dive one direction, mainly the right, and then it comes back to the left, you know. So anyway, that's going to need dealt with. But like I say, I've been driving it, so I know how the car drives, and I just make sure I've got plenty of distance and space. Okay, let's go back here and open the trunk up for you. And I've got stuff in the trunk. I think I took a picture, a still shot at picture, but the trunk is still got the original mat and such in it, and it's in good shape, you know. So all that mat is still up in there and looking good. There's that new spare tire. Got a spare fan belt and some little spare pieces just in case. Okay, get my clothespin back out of the way here and close that trunk lid. Closes down nicely, and we'll open the hood for you. As far as the engine goes, the engine runs great. If I can do this with one hand, let's try this. Engine runs great. I've got documents from back in, I think, the 70s, maybe 76 or 8, and they'd had they put a new crankshaft lower end stuff in it, and I think the mileage was on that statement, and that also probably verifies the mileage on it. Engine runs great. It's got new exhaust on it. I put some nice glass packs, had it professionally done, and so they wrap out and snap pretty good, just enough, you know. You won't get a ticket, but it sounds healthy. And that's a 352 with a 4-barrel original motor. Wiper motor, vacuum wiper motor, that thing is about worthless. So I think I'd put an electric one on if I was going to keep it any longer. Got the windshield washer bottle there as well. Let's see, anything else up here? I think that's about it. Original air cleaner on it there. The car never had any mirrors on it on the outside, so I put a clamp on one here, so it never had to have holes drilled in the fender. The electric antenna there, I couldn't get it to work. I never did work on it at all to see without the radio working. I just left it alone, so it may be a fuse or maybe something else, who knows. Okay, we'll take this thing out for a spin here. I think that's about it. The optional rear speaker as well, but that paint is really, really dull, this white. So she needs a paint job, and I put those exhaust tips on there too, the trumpets. Okay, I'll pull my little clothespins off here, and cover my license plates up. We'll take it for a little spin. I've got a 55 Clipper that is a 4-door that's beat up. It's a wrecking yard car. It's got a lot of spare parts on it, so if you're interested in buying it, I'd probably make you a deal on it. It's got all the torsion bar stuff on it. Oh, the torsion bar stuff on this works fine too. So I'm going to show you here. We'll get a rake on it. So you sit on this for, oh, I don't know, 10 or 15 seconds, and then the car will rise on its own, and there's a motor in there that levels the car out. So if you're driving up or downhill, it levels it out as much as possible. So there's a switch underneath the dash. So now we got this thing on a bit of a rake. If I put a couple of heavy guys on there, I can make a really nice rake, or just the opposite. I can make a tail dragger out of it by setting on a front bumper and getting it to. I'm chasing this little towel. So it's coming right back down now. Okay, it's down to normal. Okay, we'll take her down to the street for a little spin. And also put seat belts in here too, so it's got all, 6 people can ride it. You can hear that exhaust back here too. Window go down, and we're going to go for a little spin here. Does have the normal little leaks on the engine, It's got a little bit coming out of transmission, power steering hoses, the little bitty hoses underneath there, they're dripping a little bit, but no major stuff, just enough that you want to put a little pan in your garage just to catch any junk that comes off of it. Speedometer is off about 3 or 4 miles an hour. It reads a little faster than it's actually going, so right now we'll get it up to about 60. We'll actually be doing 55 or so. So there we go. We're probably doing about 58 now. And I'm going to switch this over by the hand. Feels like a little boat here holding on to this camera phone. Okay, I'm going to push the brakes on here. Hopefully it doesn't dive to the side. It does sometimes, but ease on a little bit. Yeah, straightening out. Once you push her down, get her down there after the initial pump, she straightens out. It brakes just fine.